guys, welcome back to the channel Nate's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Naze. For those of you who are new to the channel or who just happen to stumble across this video, and today's video, the title says, is going to be sort of part 2 of my magical readathon TBR. If you haven't seen part 1, click the I to go to that video. Basically, I talk about all 7 prompts for the novice path readathon that I'll be partaking in. But this part is, as the title says, going to be my Scholar's Key character creation. If you have not seen G's video all about the readathon and what and don't really understand what I'm talking about, click the I to go to her video. She did a fantastic job at explaining things. But pretty much this year you can create a character. So I think it's similar to like D&D. I'm not a D&D player, but I've heard people compare it to that, where you literally can create a character from scratch. She has a Scholar's Key, which pretty much looks like this, with bits of information that you can fill out. Most of them you cannot fill out until the actual readathon starts in April, but some of them there are like reading prompts for it, and so we're gonna dive into this. So I have my character created. Her name is Illyria Nori Phoenix, and I did that because she is a fire mage. She's into fire magic and things like that. And so I found this image on Google of a young girl playing with fire, and I thought this was really dope. So this is her, pretty much going to be her for her first 2 years, and then when she gets to her 3rd or 4th year, this will be her character look. And so yes, I did go a little overboard. I even had printed out some outfits that I thought were cute. Like, I really went all out with it, so yeah. But so there is a section for guild and calling and certification, which you cannot fill out until April of 2022, which is fine. And then we have background. For background, you have 2. There is wilding and urban. My character is going to be both wilding and urban background. I'll explain why about that soon. But for the background wilding, the reading prompt is to read a book largely set in a forest or outside. For that, I'm going to go with The Never Tilting World by Chupeco. I have previously read this and enjoyed it, but I want to reread it, and I know that this takes place outside because the main characters are going to be on a journey, and it's following 2 main sisters, but then also they have companions with them. And pretty much it says, a world split between day and night, remarkable in beauty and fearsome in power, generations of twin goddesses have long ruled Aeon, I think that's how you say that, until 17 years ago, when one sister's betrayal defied an ancient prophecy and split their worlds in 2. And you guys can pretty much see one is in eternal darkness and it's always cold, the other one is in eternal sun and it's always hot. And both worlds are dying, and this little break here is the abyss that kind of split them up. But it says, a great abyss divides the planet, one side cloaked in perpetual night, the other scorched beneath an unrelenting sun. While one sister rules Aranth, which is a frozen city surrounded by a storm-racked sea, her twin inhabits the sand-locked golden city. Each goddess has raised a daughter, and each goddess keeps her own secrets about the past. But when spectral forces summon those daughters to the sites of the break-in, the 2 young goddesses, along with a powerful healer from Aranth and a mouthy desert scavenger, set out on separate journeys across treacherous wastelands, desperate to heal their broken world, no matter the sacrifices it demands. And so I remember this so well because there is a female romance in this, and there's also a male character who does not have an arm, so you have that disability wrapped in there, and it was well done. I enjoyed it a lot, and the ending was still surprising to me. This does involve a demoness, and so it says a demoness is what they call a goddess that men cannot control, on the back of it, and I enjoyed it. And so you can see I did start tabbing it when I initially read it, so I'm excited to dive right back into it. But yeah, we have this. It's YA fantasy written by Chupeco. Then the next prompt for urban is to read a book set in a city or town. For that, I'm gonna go with Blood Like Magic from Liselle Sambury. I hope I'm saying it right, but y'all, this cover itself is gorgeous. I love the colors on this cover. But yeah, it says after years of waiting for her calling, a trial every witch must pass in order to come into their powers, the one thing Boya Thomas didn't expect was to fail. When Boya's ancestors give her an unprecedented second chance to complete her calling, she agrees, and then is horrified when the task is to kill her first love. And this time, failure means every Thomas witch will be stripped of their magic. And so I know that this takes place in like a city or town with the main character. I'm not sure if this was like an urban fantasy or not. I really can't remember. I'll put on the screen exactly if I can find it. But yeah, we're gonna go with Blood Like Magic because I know it's gonna take place in a city or town. So we have this. And so for that, again, my character is both wilding and urban. More urban than wilding, but she does have some wilding background. And so moving on, the next prompt is going to be for province. And you can pick between one of the 4 provinces. I'm actually going to be doing 2 provinces, which is a little insane. I know, it's a little insane. And so the main province is actually going to be Carador. And Carador is pretty much a mixing pot of all of the sort of types of people that live in Eldia. It's pretty much a city where you have a little bit of dark metal, a little bit of Darun, a little bit of Etheria, all combined, because you have some elves, you have some of the Skymorn, you have some elves, you have some humans, you have some Iltyrians, you have some dwarves, you have some earthlings everywhere. And so it's pretty much a big city. It reminds me of New York City, where you have like a pot of different cultures. And so for Carador, it is to read a book from an ongoing series. And for that, I'm gonna go with Emperor of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, the 3rd and final book in the, what is it called, the Broken Empire trilogy, which is all about Jorg. And I'm not going to go into that because I have not read the sequel yet, and so I don't want to read the back of this. But basically, the first book, The Prince of Thorn, follows 9-year-old Jorg. He is pretty much on a path to revenge the life of his mother and brother. He witnessed his mother and brother die in front of him in a very just terrible way, and his father did nothing. His father did not care. And then he goes off, he becomes the leader of a band of just grumpy old men. Literally, this 9-year-old boy is like ruling over these men. And it's interesting, it's savage, it is not your typical fantasy. Most people might not like it. I like morally gray characters. I enjoy villainous characters, and so this is pretty much the story told from a villainous point of view. And he's really not a villain, but he has villain intentions, if that makes sense. Like, it's not his fault, but it's his fault at the same time. And so this is the 3rd and final book. I'm not going to read the back of it, but we have this that I'm going to read. Now, for Etheria, it says read a book that features Fae or Elven characters. I haven't selected my book for that as of yet because I am up in the air about what I want to do. If I want to be truthful, I can just say I'll reread, what is it? Because I'm actually rereading it right now. What is it called? A Court of Thorns and Roses. I could do that. I could do the sequel to Fortuna Sworn, because I've already read the first book, so I can do the sequel to that. But I'm still debating on which one I want to do, and so that one is just going to be up in the air for now. When April comes around, I'll have like a list of all the books that I read fulfilling each prompt. But my character's main province will be Carador, but she did live in Etheria, I think it is. Yeah, she did live in Etheria for about 6 years, and so we have that. So then moving on to heritage, that's when you basically pick what your character is going to be, whether it's a dwarf, an earthling, an elf, a human, an Iltyrian, or a Skymorn. And for me, I went with an earthling. Specifically, she is going to be a fire earthling. So for that, you have to read a book with elemental magic or an element word in the book or series title, such as air, fire, water, earth. And so for that, I have The Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter, and this is a sequel to, where is it, The Rage of Dragons, right here. And I know that Erin from Booked and Busy did a reading vlog on this. She loved it. She cried when reading it. You can click the eye to go to her reading vlog. And so I'm excited to dive into this and see what happens next, because we need answers, okay? We need answers. This is an adult epic fantasy that is African inspired, and yeah, I'm just ready. It says an oust queen must join forces with a young warrior in order to reclaim her kingdom, in the second book of this groundbreaking epic fantasy series that has redefined the genre. And it is blurred by S.A. Chakraborty, James Islington, Django Wexler, Anthony Ryan, David Delgish, Peter Brett, and yeah, so I know a few of those authors, and I'm excited to see what happens next, because Tao kind of like, I like Tao, but he's also a very impulsive person who does really stupid things, and so I hope he becomes a little smarter. And the dragons in this are just amazing. Like, we love the dragons, we love the dragons. And so I'm going to be picking this because it says fires, and I really wanted to do something with the word fire in the title, just because my character is going to be more of a fire person. She's a fire earthling, and so we have that. And so that is that. Those are 4 of the 5 books that I have for my character. Again, I have to just find a book with phase. If I found one by the time that I'm editing it, I will pop the cover here. If I have not, then we'll see what it is. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So again, it's all on the Traveler's Key, if you have it. So the top portion are the 7 prompts for the novice path, and then the bottom one going also to the back are going to be your prompts. It says the character creation, however, lasts until April 2022, so you can either incorporate the choices into your future reading list, or if you crave a challenge, add it to your September one. For more details on the character creation, please check the Scholar's Key document, which is this here, as well as a brief history of Eldia and Orilium. So yeah. Now it says choose one answer from each category by fulfilling the prompt. I choose one, I pick 2, so yeah. But yeah, so outside of that, after heritage, you have lunar phase at birth. So it says unnoted, eclipse, blood moon, or alignment. I went with blood moon just because I thought that would be cool to have like my earthling girl who is a fire, who has like the affinity to fire, be born during a blood moon. It just sounded really cool in my head. So then under that you have Conduit and Guild's Legacy, which I don't think you can fill out until the actual readathon starts in April. But then you have Scholar's Trait. So I'm going to read my character to you all, okay? So it says she's 18 years old. She was born in Etheria to parents Zarek and Cyrilia. She moved to Carador at 6 years old. She's an only child. She loves nature, cooking, reading, and dancing, which are pretty much what I personally enjoy. Her favorite color is lavender, which is my favorite color. She is shy but has a fiery attitude. Me. She stands up for injustice in the world. She is a scholar, but she also knows how to have fun, and she wants a dragon companion. Don't ask me why I said a dragon. I was tempted to say a unicorn, but we're gonna go to dragon. We're gonna go to dragon companion because there are actually dragons in the world of Eldia. So yeah. And again, her name is Illyria Nori Phoenix. That is my character's name, and I'm super excited for this. I'm excited. So again, this is how she looks her first 2 years, and then when she becomes a junior, sophomore, or rather an adept and a master, this will be how she looks here. And so it's pretty much the same thing. I'm actually going to refill out the Scholar's Trait when she gets to the Adept and Master portion, because by then she will have, of course, found new hobbies and new things that she likes. But I'm excited. Of course, I went all out. I had to do it. I had to go all out because this is actually super fun. And I've never played D&D. It sounds really fun to play it. I might play it one day because I do have D&D dice, but I use it for like other things. But yeah, that is it for this TBR for my character creation. I want to know what you guys' characters are going to be. What did you decide your heritage was going to be? Are you a dwarf, an earthling? If you're an earthling, what kind of earthling are you? And let me just give you some background on the earthlings, specifically the fire ones. So it says that earthlings are a race as old and ancient as Eldia. They have deep connections to primal elements of nature. They are the only ones who possess magical abilities before the arrival of the Amalur. The Amalur is basically what hit the world and made it what it is. It says they present leopard-like spots on their skin, which is gain a colored tint upon their 10th birthday. Green for earth, purple for air, red for fire, and blue for water. Their elemental abilities quickly follow. Earthlings have always had a special relationship with animals and are gifted at handling and sometimes even communicating with them, which is why my girl wants a dragon companion. They have excellent intuition and an eye for detail, which is why I said she's a scholar, but she also knows how to have fun. They have a strong connection with the gods of the natural world and has helped them fully embrace the power of their elements, and so forth and so forth. It says patience is not a virtue that they've known for, but decisiveness and determination are. And so for fire, they have red leopard spots, flame flickers at the end of their hair, smoldering fingers. Fire earthlings are able to summon, smother, and control fire. And if you guys notice, she kind of has like blue flames at the end of her hair, in her hand. And then even in this image, her hair is more so red, yellow, and orange with a little bit of blue, which I'm gonna do as fire. And I'm gonna try to find the picture that I saw that this photo here is basically how she looks when she's like fully powered up, flame of hair and all that stuff. Like I went all out. I don't know who these artists are. I literally just found it on Google, these images, and it worked. And so we printed them out. So that's what my character looks like, fully powered up when she becomes a master. But yeah, that is it. Let me know what you guys are gonna do for your character creation, if you're going all out or not. And I guess that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.